you from?
Niue.
Where's Niue?
It's a little island close to Tonga, 3 hours from New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever live there?
Yeah. I lived there from when I was 1 until 7, and then back and forth between Niue and New Zealand, and then we moved permanently to New Zealand when I was 9. Warm, lots of family, lots of cousins. It's a good life if you're healthy. It's probably where I would want to raise my children.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the childhood that I want for them. Just like no worries, you're out playing or riding your bikes with your cousins at your nana's house, or at your one of your auntie's house or one of your uncle's houses until dark, and then your dad just like rounds you up for dinner. Yeah, that's what I want for my children. When we moved to New Zealand, I was really upset because it was really cold. The food was different. I don't know, now that I'm in Australia, I appreciate New Zealand a lot more. So it's changed. Yeah, it's just very different. The culture's different as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like worry about money, I think, more in New Zealand than you do in Niue. Even though I was young, I remember like my mom and dad worrying more about money in New Zealand, like hearing more about money in New Zealand than I did when I was in Niue.
Yeah.
But I think that was because like at the time mum was sick, and they had like medical bills to pay for, I think, and also like rent, you have to pay for rent. Whereas in Niue, like you get land or house from your family, and I don't think, I'm not sure, but I don't think they pay rent. And in Niue, like you give what you have, like food or like fish from the sea. Whereas in New Zealand, it's more like you give money.
Yeah.
Not that you don't give money in Niue, but yeah.
And even if you didn't give money in New Zealand, you have to buy what
you're
gonna give.
You can't like grow like. When I first moved over, I moved for opportunities and money. And it was a lot easier getting a job with a higher pay. But living in Australia I've been here for 5 years now. At the same time, more like racist here. Like just what they say about different groups of people.
Yeah.
Or maybe because in New Zealand, I don't know, I didn't see it as much because there are like lots of people like me, like half caste or Pacific Islanders that have moved. So I could find common ground with them, but coming here, I feel really out of place because no one can tell what I look like. So maybe they're more open in saying what they do about specific groups of people, like especially Pacific Islanders, Indians, and Asians. They're like the three. There's lots of derogatory like terms that they use for those types of people. Yeah, and I just can't believe like they're okay with saying that. Like they'll say it and have no shame. Maybe I hear it now because they don't recognize me as like a Pacific Islander, so they feel more comfortable saying things like that. Or like, oh, I've never seen a pretty Niuean before, and how the fuck am I supposed to take that? Like, you full on diss my whole family.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be like, oh my god, thanks.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Money isn't everything. Like, it's important, but it's not like, don't sacrifice your whole life for it. And you don't have to move far to be successful. Cause like Australia for me was like, that's how I'm gonna get more opportunities. That's how I'm gonna make more money.
Yeah.
Without thinking of like how far. Cause Auntie Judy was like, the decisions you make now, like if you want to live far, you have to live with it. Like 30 years from now, you have to live with the fact that you don't spend time. Don't lose yourself here. And like, yeah, don't lose yourself here. And
when you say don't lose yourself here, what do you mean by that?
Like, make sure you go back to New Zealand, or make sure you go back to Niue. It will ground you. Probably only recently, humility. Like, I don't know if that's the right word for it, to be honest. He always says it doesn't matter like what they do, just make sure you're good. Like, just make sure you reach out and you give. And it's a hard one too, because you have to like practice that within every situation. I think that's why he's got a lot of friends.
A lot of people love him.
A lot of people will do things for him because it doesn't matter like how they behave or who they are or what they've done, he'll still like, he'll make sure that he's good on his end. And that's something that I respect him for. Yeah.